morning, this is Natalie, Sagriff of the Channel News 1. Today we have two very special guests with us who want to share their stories about how they faced adversity and about how they were in positions of authority and victimhood at the same time. So today we have Serena Joy with us. How are you today?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. Can you tell me about how your life before you were the commander's wife?
Sure. Before the formation of Gilead, I was a very popular public speaker. I spoke out against the independence of women, and I encouraged women to stay in their homes instead of working. I felt like I was witnessing the decline in true family values, and I encouraged other women to give up their freedoms for the benefit of our society, basically. It was a very troubling time, and my views were not well received. I received countless death threats on my life, and ultimately, when the time came, there were very few options left for me, and I was offered the position to become a commander's wife. And I seized the opportunity. I put away my given name Pam, and I adopted the name Serena Joy, as I felt the direction that the New World Order was headed in was going to bring everyone a life of serenity and joy.
Now, can you shed light on your role in the house and why you treated the handmaids so harshly?
Well, initially I think I was very disillusioned about my role within the house. I felt that I had much more power than I really did have. And given my infertility and my age, I felt that I was of no use to the commander, and I was nothing other than a status symbol, basically. Having a handmaid was a great mark of shame for me, and I felt that it proved my role as a wife was purely ornamental. And so I imposed strict orders over the house and maintained tight control over the women that worked for me. The maids that were called Marthas all answered to me, and they feared me. And even though it was my husband who really held the power, I felt that I did. As for why I treated them so harshly, I guess I was merely doing as I was told. I was trying to keep order within the house, and our central goal was to have a baby, and I was doing whatever, made that possible.
Mm-hmm. Now, the media has recently leaked about the mating ritual that went on. Can you shed any light about your experience with it?
For me, the mating ritual is very difficult to talk about. More than anything, I feel that it demonstrates my inability to have power in my relationship and as a whole. I was a passive observer to the conception process, and I think it evoked in me a lot of hate towards the handmaids, towards myself even. And it was a constant reminder that I was barren. The mating ritual was a celebration that I couldn't really be a part of. And I just felt that I was infertile and that I was old, and this young woman was fertile and got to do what I could not and was not allowed to do, and I found it very frustrating. Sex was the means to an end, and alas, it was another way that we were controlled within Gilead. And the importance of the mating ritual was procreation, so even though it affected me in this way and it was upsetting, the central goal was to have a baby, and I had to put my own feelings aside.
Was there ever a point where your desperation to have a baby hit its peak?
Sure. We tried countless times to have a baby with the other handmaids, and it wasn't happening. And I just wanted a baby so badly. So I don't know, it just really got to me that the handmaids weren't fulfilling their duty. It was their one duty. And then it occurred to me that the problem might actually be the commander himself. I devised a plan to set up Offred and Nick, our caretaker. And it was of course blasphemous for me to suggest that my husband was sterile and that he was the problem and not the women. So I devised this plan in secret, and I felt that no one needed to know except for Offred, Nick, and myself. And I was merely doing what I felt needed to happen in order for our household to have a baby, and I think for our success initially in Gilead. And if I couldn't raise a child for the commander, then really what was I doing there? I wasn't serving a purpose. And I felt that Alfred and Nick could do this for us, and that it would somehow make everything better. I finally felt that I had control in the situation and power, and arranging the affair was like reclaiming who I was.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your story with us. Tune in after the commercial and we'll be talking to Vera Vaughn.